Alright, I am here with a brand new pickup video. I got some pretty good stuff. I didn't know if I was going to do a new video to end the year off, but I got some pretty good stuff that I figured I would go through and do a pickup video for. A pretty rare, pretty hard to find CIB N64 game. The most I've spent on a single game up to this point. We'll get into that, as well as some other cool stuff. So we'll go into that as it comes. Got a few miscellaneous stuff. These were from Amazon on sale. This one was one of the ones that, you know how Amazon, if something's not selling, they start to drop the price a little bit every day until it either sells out or it starts selling a bunch and then it goes up in price. But it was The World Ends With You Final Remix. So I got it right around 30, and I think it sold out right after that, and the price was down. But I got into the first World Ends With You, but I never finished it. I played some of it, but I'm looking forward to trying it out on the Switch. I've heard some mixed things about the controls on this, but I'd still like to give it a go. It would be nice to have it, in HD and everything. And then another one that was on sale for 30, the Spyro Reignited Trilogy, which I've been having some fun with this. I enjoy it. I enjoyed the Crash Trilogy last year. I've been enjoying this as well. I think I enjoy this more because it's just more my type of game. I prefer more of like the more open-ended collectathon platformers. But the one problem I have is that there's this motion blur when you turn the camera that's a little bit... It's unnecessary. Motion blur is never necessary. It's awful. But that's just pretty bad. And I remember hearing about it when it first came out, and then I forgot about it, and then I picked that up, and I started playing it, and I was like, uh-oh, wait a second. And I was like, oh, well, they probably fixed it by now. So I went in to try to turn it off, and there was no setting to turn it off. I'm like, oh, great. But I got used to it. It did hurt my eyes a little bit at first. I know how lame that sounds, but it actually did. Me getting, my eyes hurt by playing a kid's game about a purple dragon. I know how lame that sounds, but it actually did. But I got used to it, and I had a good time. I've played through like almost the entirety of Spyro 1, so I'm not having a problem anymore. But that is a bit of an oversight that they didn't turn that off. So I got those two. This one was a Christmas present, but I was kind of in on it. I said, hey, but I told my dad, hey, we should buy this. It's a good deal. This was $100, but I still had the Best Buy Gamers Club until the end of the year. So it was only got it down to 80. And it's the Super Mario Party Joy-Con bundle, which is a really good deal because, I mean, the Joy-Cons sell for 80 themselves. So you're getting the game essentially for free. And I put these Joy-Cons on my Switch. I really like the colors. I think they look nice. These new, like, the cool, like, neon colored Joy-Cons really remind me of, like, the 64 and that kind of color era of Nintendo. I'm glad that we got that back. And I have not played my copy of Mario Party yet, but I've played it on a friend's system. I really liked it. I was, by this point, I was not crazy about Mario Party 9 or 10. I think they're both pretty terrible, but this one's a pretty good return to form. I'm happy that we got a good Mario Party finally. After a good, I like Mario Party 8. That's like the last good one. That was 2008, so it's been a while. Let me go into some other miscellaneous finds. This was another one that was my dad's doing. He like lurks the Goodwill auction website, and he will grab, most of the time stuff goes crazy. I don't know why, but he'll grab and watch some different lots that might not be too bad. Most of the time he'll show me this stuff. He'll be like, how much do you think this is going to go for? And I'll say, oh, realistically it should go for this. And then it's like twice that. It's ridiculous. I heard from a couple people in a retro gaming group I'm in on Facebook that people do it and then either don't pay, kind of as a trolling thing because they don't like it, which I don't like the Goodwill auction site either. They get this stuff for free and then are auctioning it off, and their shipping prices are 4 times as much as they should be. They have a handling fee. It's like, this stuff is free. Come on. Don't want to go on a tangent. I think it's terrible though. I heard people say that either they don't pay or people think that they can use it as a tax write-off, which you certainly cannot do that. So I'm not sure where you got that idea from. But the Goodwill auction site is crazy. But he found this one lot here, and on the outside, it's probably the least interesting lot of all time. Because it was a lot of sports games for the N64, most of them loose. I don't even have them, the loose ones anymore, because I already had them all, so I traded them off to get my most expensive item. We'll see later. But these ones I did not have, and they were in the box. And one of them is actually very, very, very hard to come by, very rare. But the first one was Madden 2000. I did not have a complete copy of. I did not have the box for. I had the cart, so I traded the double off. But, yeah. And then the other one that was right in the middle of the auction, he said. And, of course, he doesn't tell me about this, and he wraps this up for Christmas. So I am assuredly the only person of all time to get this game on Christmas Day 2018. PGA European Tour complete in box. This game is very hard to come by, very, very uncommon. It's not worth a whole lot loose. It's worth about 80 complete. Not worth a whole lot loose. Well, I mean, more than a golf game should. I think it's probably about 40. But if you look this up on eBay, there's hardly any listings. And the listings they do have are actually pretty pricey. I don't know if they're ever going to go for that. But I think he said it was going for cheap for a while. And then it ended up after everything being like $38, which is a pretty good deal, I got to say, for a complete PGA European Tour in a box, and whatever I got for the trade stuff on the other stuff. But me, the guy who gets PGA European Tour wrapped up under the Christmas tree, and that was actually exciting for me because that's a pretty hard to come by game. But yeah, I don't know. I got a bunch of exchange finds now, so I'll kind of just go through these. Some box 64 games again. It's been a while, but I got Quarterback Club 2001, which was $8. If it's under 10 and it's a box game, I'll pick it up. Usually I do it under 5 for sports games, but this is a later release. Quarterback Club 2001 would have come out in 2000, so it's a bit of a later release one, so it's a little bit harder to grab there. And then another one. This was an all-right deal. It was in pretty rough shape, but you can't really tell in the box protector. Duke Nukem 0 Hour, which this was marked at $16, which is pretty solid for that. They had another exchange I was at another day, had a cart only for $12, so it's pretty good. This was in pretty rough shape. They had this for a while, but I just decided to nab it. The side over here, you can't really tell in the box protector, but it was pretty torn up. But you can't really tell. And it was a good deal. Yeah, you can see here, this was probably the biggest thing. That's pretty torn up, but you can't tell, so it ends up being all right. So that's pretty cool to grab that. I mean, I did not have the game or the cart or the box at all, so a good grab there for me for 16. Some other random stuff here. Just a 3DO game. I have a 3DO. I have like barely any games for it, and I don't have. All of the ones I have are not in the the CD, or they're just in the CD case. They're not in the long box. So I picked this up for $12. Blade Force. So now I actually have something to try, because the only other games I have are Putt Putt and some golf game. So I'll have to give that one a shot. I don't know where my 3DO is right now. It's in some kind of box tucked away in storage, but I'll have to dig that bad boy out and play that. And then a Gamecom game, which is weird. So I got a Gamecom at a garage sale like for $1 years ago at this point. And now I've just been kind of sporadically finding sealed Gamecom games for really cheap and just picking them up just as a joke. I think there's only 20 released Gamecom games, and I think I should just get the whole set because they're really cheap to get them all sealed and done. But I found this one sealed for $10 at the exchange. Fighters Mega Mix, which this was a Saturn game. And for some reason there's a Gamecom port. I don't know. But yeah, that was pretty interesting. A couple other... Before I go into my most expensive game here, I'll throw this one in. Pretty good deal on this one. It's in pretty good shape. GameCube game I've been looking for a while. And for $30, Batten Kaitos Origins, which a while ago I was at a Buybacks, which is a store around me that's no longer around. It was terrible, but they would oftentimes give out 20% off coupons, and they had a copy of Batten Kaitos Origins for $20, I think, and then because I think they had it priced at what Batten Kaido's Eternal Wings in the Lost Ocean is worth, which I think they flipped them around. But they had this here, and I did not pick it up because I'm stupid. But now I've gotten, you know, my second chance. I got it for 30, which I don't find this one very often at all. And when it's in a store, it's usually around 50, so that's a pretty decent deal there. Definitely worth picking up. And finally, then we'll go into my most expensive, the most I've spent on a singular game. You know, I've bought lots that are pretty pricey, but that's multiple games. I can't name probably the most expensive game I've bought before. The most I've spent on a game before, I should say. Besides a new release game or something that's a collector's edition that I might have spent $90 on, it would probably be probably my boxed Final Fantasy III, or maybe one of my Lunar PS1 sets, or I can't really think of what it would be because a lot of that stuff I usually buy when I have trade credit, so I can't really think of that would be. But now I do have that now. This was sitting in the cabinet when I was there, and I was like, you know what, I'm going to probably have to just pick that up. And I went back, I think 2 days later, because I was there a day before Christmas, and I was like, well, it's going to be close Christmas, so I'm going to bring some, I'll go the day after. I want to bring some of my really crappy trade credit stuff, which is great. I take some really, really just crap trade credit stuff. I had those N64 sports games, I had about 6 of them that were in that lot alongside the PGA European Tour. And I took some Dreamcast sports games that I got at the Goodwill for $1, and a PS1 double I had that I got at the Goodwill for $1, and really nothing else. And I was thinking, oh, maybe I can get like $15 knocked off of this just out of that crap. And they're like, yeah, we can give you $39 for your trade credit. I'm like, okay. Or it was like $39.60. I don't know why they didn't just round up to 40. I don't really care. But this was sitting in there at 150, so I got it down to 110. And it's one that I've been wanting for a while. It came, actually, it was in, I'll show it first, a copy of Revelations Persona on PS1. I'm a big Persona fan, so you have to have the whole series. But the only time I've ever actually seen it anywhere else, they had it at my local exchange last year. They had both 1 and 2, and I had some trade credit stuff and a 20% off discount, so I picked that up. They had it at 90, which about what it was worth then. It's now about 130 now. I just checked for Persona 2. But I had some trade credit stuff, and I had some gift cards, and I had a 20% off, so I didn't pay that much. And I was like, I think I'll probably go back and get that Persona 1 too, because I think they had it like 120, and it was gone the next time I wanted to go do it. But I've got my redemption now. This is a really good condition copy. Disc is perfect. Has a manual, and it's looking nice. Yeah, I mean, the case is in good shape. Artwork's in good shape. So I'm really happy with that. Really good shape. They had some pretty good RPGs in there. They had Tales of Destiny 2, Lunar 2. They had some pretty good PS1 RPG stuff. But I'm glad to get this now. I have both of the Personas on PS1, as well as the Japanese-only Persona 2 Innocent Sin that I got on my trip. So I got all those now. Now to get all the Personas, I gotta get the different versions of the different games, some of the portable ones. I don't have those because I don't have the PSP. I mean, I have Golden, but I don't have the PSP one, and or the PSP remakes and all that. But I'm working on it. So this was really cool to get, and at $110, this is the single most I've spent on a game at this point. So take that as you will. But that's it for this pickup video. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Leave a comment with what you've picked up. And like I said, leave a comment with what you would, like me to see me do in this new year. What kind of videos you like to see me do? Because I'd like to have less gaps in between pickup videos. Because especially January, February, March, not really a good time for pickups. So I'd like to have less gaps there. So leave a comment with what you'd like me to do. Maybe some kind of like collecting tips videos or something like that. I don't know if you'd be into that. But let me know. Subscribe if you're not already subscribed. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at Objo Gaming. And I will see you next time.